shoes. You always have exceptional taste in shoes. Good to see you, gentlemen. How are you?
Hi, you too, Zane.
How are you, Alex?
Hey, Zane.
Thanks for drawing the short straw. Welcome back. Tonight, Franz Ferdinand. Wow, you know, it's an appropriate album title for an album which has been gestating for a bit as far as fans are concerned. And let's get, you know, it's like, let's do it right tonight, let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're going to talk about all of that, but does it feel like you guys are well and truly back? You're doing a lot of talking at the moment, a lot of running around and promoting.
Yeah, a lot of gigs as well. I mean, I think that's the moment where you really feel it's kind of happening again. And like we played in Manchester.
We've played all around Europe in the last couple of weeks, really. It seems like,
and it's when you see people who are beginning to sing along to new songs and dance to new songs.
It's called downloading, gentlemen. It's
downloading
right now.
It's great because like it's been happening over the last sort of year and a half or so. As we've been writing songs, we'd play like a wee gig, and there'd be somebody in the audience with a camera phone, and
Pops up,
and then straight away. So like before we'd even recorded some of the songs, we'd play gigs and people knew the words for them, and that's.
And in fact, some people wrote some of the songs and put them up online.
Well, they knew the words before I did.
But then we changed them again.
I know
They'd learn them off for nothing.
Just to keep them guessing. As you should. They're works in progress. You shouldn't be, you know, they're not set in stone until they appear on this thing.
Yeah,
exactly.
And even then, you never know, because this is a promo, isn't it, eh?
Yeah.
With the skull and crossbones on it.
I'm not assuming them
in the future.
Exactly.
Me in the future.
Exactly. Hi, we'd like to present you with this really nice, warm, comfy and cozy pre-order Franz Ferdinand album. If you download it, we'll kill you. Your first album kind of redefined dance music, I think, and I think a lot of people agree in that it was the first kind of record of its time. In and amongst your peers, it started making indie music, rock music for the dance floor again. And all of a sudden, people were going to indie discos and requesting "Take Me Out." You know, it was like a whole new way of dancing at 107 beats per minute. But this record is you've kind of realised that, haven't you? It's very much a groove-based album.
Yeah. And I think when we did our second record as well, everything, because we've been playing live so much, everything sort of sped up and became a bit more rock. And this one we wanted to get right back down, like a slightly slower tempo, and that's where the groove's at. It's where you swing.
And you've got a rhythm section that's as good as you got.
Yeah.
And you know, Paul and Party Hardy, you can't lose.
Bob Party Hardy.
Yeah.
I think the bass is the lead instrument on this record.
He is leading, and a lot of great riffs going on there, and you've given a lot of movement to roam around, which I think gives a lot of space to the record as well. It means you guys can, as guitar players.
Yeah, I think the guitar is kind of it's not like driving it; it's more playing the melodies, really.
Yeah. I mean, as well as because there is that kind of space, like when it does freak out, like at the end of What You Came For or something like that, it can like just like save it for a nuclear explosion, you know.
There's intensity on there, man. Definitely. Bite Hard is a bit lulls you into a fairly false sense of security, doesn't it? That one. I mean, it couldn't be more extreme from the start to the end. Really,
I mean, the whole record's supposed to be like that as well, like a builder, you know, like also building up to Lucid Dreams, like the kind of the apex, and then the come down after it.
Good to see you put more effort into it than just a pile of songs put together in a random sense of order, and that's that's something we've come to expect from you guys, is a fine attention to detail from beginning to end.
No, I mean it is
it's
supposed
not a
to
concept.
be. It's not a concept. It wasn't like planned.
Well, it's concept in the sense that it's awesome. It's a concept record. The whole thing is brilliant.
But yeah, it is like when we'd recorded everything, we wanted to put everything together as an album. You know, like here's the starting point, here's the end point. This is the way through it.
Was that a challenge?
You know, it is, you know, kind of bringing it together. But it did kind of make sense as well afterwards. And it was only afterwards that the themes really became apparent, and the nighttime theme really became apparent sort of when the record was finished.
Ulysses, which is the first song which we've got to play on the radio. I mean, we had Lucid Dreams, obviously, but that's changed since we played that on the radio.
So, you learned the lyrics.
Yeah, and then I got to know that song, and you've gone and ruined it for me. Ulysses, though, as a song, is it kind of sums up everything that's on the record for me. Is that you've got the groove aspect of it. You know, you've got the catchiness, the hooks, which, you know, you can't help but write. And then it rocks out, and at the end, you know, definitely with the coda at the end, you guys are fully rocking. So it does kind of encapsulate the record as a whole, doesn't it, that track?
I think so, yeah. I mean, it's definitely a dance floor record, but it goes pretty full on, pretty brutal at the end. And I guess as well, I always see that song as being the kind of like the start of an evening as well. It's like you've got the anticipation, the sort of, it's a real psych up song, you know, where you're kind of psyching yourself up, getting ready to go.
It set the standard for us as well, somehow, as well, isn't it? It was one of the first.
Because it was an early one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was one of the first ones that we finished, and we were like, all right, this
It's a good day and a bad day, isn't it? Because you're like, man, we nailed one, and it's like, man, we've got to nail 11 more.
But it also created a mood for the record as well. You know, we've been playing around with a few different ideas, and you know, so that's okay. And then sort of Ulysses came back. I thought, right, okay, this sounds a wee bit different. This has got it's the atmosphere and the mood, I think, of that song which affected a lot of the other songs.
With an album called Tonight, Franz Ferdinand and Ulysses, we know him well, know and love, and in the new year, a lot of people are going to get a chance to finally wrap their ears around these 12 songs. People like myself have been very annoying in the last couple of years, constantly going, where's Franz Ferdinand? We should do a new Franz Ferdinand album. Which I know is frustrating when you're in the middle of trying to make something and we're all sort of going, where are you? What are you doing? What's going on, guys? Like hopping up behind the couch. Hi, got a record yet? Were you aware that was going on? That the anticipation was actually building and it wasn't waning?
I guess we were trying to kind of hide away from the world a little bit while we were making this record.
Yeah, we were in Glasgow.
Yeah.
You could have done something to distance yourself a little more, couldn't you? Glasgow's hardly,
I know, but we found our secret location and
South Glasgow.
Okay, well, no one goes there, man. No one wants to know you about it.
We're not talking West End, we're talking South Side. No, but no, it was good to kind of disappear because we did want a new sound. We wanted to go somewhere else with the band, and I don't think you can do that either quickly or with everybody's eyes on you as well. It had to be an evolution, like trying an idea. That didn't work, trying another 40 ideas and kind of go, those ideas are good, and sort of amassing it all and editing it all down at the end.
When you finished the touring on the second album, how did you feel?
Exhausted. I was. I don't know about you.
I was
totally
empty.
Exhausted.
Yeah.
Physically, emotionally, creatively.
It's pretty much see-through.
Yeah, pretty
transparent.
Yeah.
Right.
And we did. We took 3 months away. You disappeared to South America.
Yeah. Where did you go again?
I went to Vancouver.
Well,
you know about I went to Vancouver with the Cribs.
That's right.
Yeah, that was great for me. That was a really energizing, sort of vital time because the Germans are these great characters, and getting to work with them was.
Did you make their best record? You were pretty much, along with James and a few other bits and bobs who've been helping behind the scenes, and of course the band, but you turned their whole lives around.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think we've got to wait to hear what they do with Johnny Marr. I think that's probably going to be their best record.
I mean, I think they've got places to go, but certainly up to that point, you gave the Cribs life, and I think even they, for all their kind of indie mentality, were getting a bit sick of it. You know what I mean?
Well, they definitely had, they felt like they wanted an adventure. They felt like they wanted something more with that record. And we just had a great laugh making it. It was a brilliant laugh.
Yeah. So when you reconvened as a band, did you have to, I mean, I don't want to kind of dig for anything that isn't there, but were there things that had to be resolved, or were you all in a good place when you parted company at that point?
I think just coming back after a break resolved everything. Because, when you're on tour with people, it's like sharing a flat with somebody. Like if you share a flat with your best friend, their tiny little domestic habits become irritating. And
are you all very different people, you think?
We're very similar and different. We have a lot in common, yet we're distinct personalities.
Yeah.
So.
That's what makes a band.
Strong personalities too, having met all of them individually throughout the course of the band's career, which I think is what makes it unique.
The best thing about coming off a break like that as well is you walk into a room after not having seen each other for 3 months and go, these guys are my best friends, and it's really good to see you again, rather than waking up on the bus and go, these guys again.
You decided to work with this kind of pop factory called Xenomania. Is that what they're called?
Well, we tried.
Xenophobia, Xenomania.
We tried a few different
guys. We did a bit of time with Brian Higgins, did a bit of time with James Ford, did a great session with Errol Alkin as well. Did a cover of the LCD Sound System
which
song,
is brilliant, by the way.
All My Friends.
I mean, way to improve on perfection.
Yeah, I mean, and loved that, and all these people that you spend a bit of time with. It's like working with other musicians, other producers. It's inspiring. It makes you see things from a different angle. And then, I guess, best luck of all, we met Dan Carey, and he was, incredibly inspiring and.
South London, South Glasgow.
It all works.
Connected. South side.
Government of Streatham.
It's funny, you put this on paper and you take a look at the list of producers that you've worked with, and no disrespect to Dan Carey, but he's the one that won the lottery. I mean, you've got James Ford, haven't you? You've got Errol Alkin, you've got Brian Higgins, and it's like we're going to go with this guy, which a lot of people don't know. Which in a way is, which is proof that it was a relationship that was right.
Yeah. I mean, it just worked. I mean, we were talking to him, and I just knew straight away in the room, right, there's something about this guy that's right. Cool. And it has to be instinctive. It can't be. You can't rely on what looks good on paper. I mean, the whole Xenomania thing looked really good on paper, but I think Brian and Xenomania are extremely creative guys, but when we physically came to make the record with them, it just didn't work.
Well,
So, and you have to trust your guts rather than forcing it through. You go, no, right. Whereas you meet Danny, kind of go, yeah, this is wicked. I'm really excited. I'm loving playing music with this guy. It's
well, you know, when you're working with the Pop Factory, you know, someone's out of a job at some point if it works, isn't it? You know?
no.
Either you're going to put one of their writers out of a job, or you're out of a job.
Yeah, well,
someone's got to write it.
That's
you
right.
know?
Yeah,
that's what they're used to doing. I mean,
no, you're right. They work in a different way. That's what I'm saying. They work like a band in their own right. You know? It would be like getting another band to produce your record, I think.
Yeah, which can work if they're willing to relinquish the reins a little bit. But you know, I'm sure that they're sitting in their chocolate factory, literally like, we must churn out another smash hit. But
I don't think it's fair to say they churn it out because they are creative guys.
Oh, come on, that's what they do. And I don't mean in a bad way, I mean in a good way, but they literally just go, you know, it's mathematics. I mean, they feel it, but it is math. How else can you, like, control the charts like that? Just every time.
But then again, you could accuse of our contemporaries, other indie bands of doing the same thing.
Yeah, I'm sure they
churning out songs too.
Is it true that they listen, that there's reference?
Who's the number one just now?
Actually? I don't know, is it? Oh, it's Take That. See, there's a real band. There's a real band right there. Greatest Day. What a tune. What a tune. The record, you know, it's got a good bottom end.
Yeah.
There's room to move.
Definitely one of that.
You know, and it does, like we pointed out already, it does rock out. There's moments when, you know, you put the guitars into action. At least 15 or 16 tracks laid down on a couple of. It sounds like walls of guitars.
But the thing is, like often those ones aren't like. Again, this is like kind of like the fun of making this record. Although Dan's got a very hi-fi sense of recording, sometimes it's just best to go totally lo-fi. And like the end of What She Came For, it's the four of us in a room with the drum kit there and guitar amp there, bass amp and another guitar amp and one microphone, like downstairs in the cellar. And yeah, you can layer 15 guitars, but you're still going to listen to it on the same headphones.
It's true.
What you want to listen to is the sound of a band going like, yeah, DEFCON 1, like straight in your ears, you know.
And that's what you guys can
louder
do.
than Motorhead.
Yeah. But that's what you guys can do. And I mean, I remember I saw you guys kind of return to the stage for me anyway at Africa Express in Liverpool, which is an interesting position to put yourself in, you know, because you're going out there to you know, improvise. But I remember when you started with, I think you started with Take Me Out, and
with Baba Mal,
It was amazing, you know, and watching you guys just kick off again as a band. And I turned to my friend who I was with, it might have even been the Rev, and I said, you know, I can't, you know, it was George, I thought, you know, I just forgot. For a split second, I forgot, like, how good this band are live, you know. And you've proven it time and time again.
It was a really good gig,
I love
really
that.
enjoyed that.
I love the improvisation side of that as well, you know.
Yeah, we did a version of Send Them Away, which is on the album.
That's right, yeah. That was the first time we played that song live, was there?
What was it? Basico?
Yeah. And
that was at a crucial time for you guys. I remember there was a lot of talk about your new Afrobeat direction.
Yeah, indeed.
And everyone was expecting literally you to come out with a kora, and it was.
But this is the thing, like because we kind of deliberately chose not to kind of speak to the press much over the time we were making a record, because there's not really a story, you know. So why talk when there's not a story?
It's like doing press about being in the press.
Yeah, exactly. It seems perverse. And so, but whenever we did do something and we talked about something, it would become this crazy story and a bit exaggerated, like the Afrobeat thing. I guess the Xenomania thing wasn't really. It was a few days we hung out with Brian Higgins. It didn't turn out. You know?
That's the story for people though, because I think that was one of the early things that people had heard about the new record. People weren't really aware of the forward sessions or anything else. Certain people who read the underground press were. And I think, you know, the idea of you guys working with a team that's given Girls Aloud such success was, you know, as provocative as it was enthralling. I think people were really interested by the idea because you guys are a modern day pop band, and I think they thought, wow, these two things coming together, it could just like literally. Like the world could implode.
It
could be like Athens breaking. You know?
But it's like saying I love chocolate, I love curry. Imagine how good a chocolate curry is going to be. It's kind of.
How good would a chocolate curry? I'm trying to. I might have to try.
I'm trying to think. No. But it might actually be brilliant.
Inadvertently given birth to one of the great food combinations of our time. You know? And I remember when he first came up with the idea.
Chocolate korma.
Exactly.